this is Ryan.
And this is Steve, and you're listening to 60 Cycle Hum, the guitar buying, selling, trading, modding, fixing, breaking, reviewing, playing podcast.
Here we are. We're doing it again, Steve. How's your week going? Let me fix your mic for you.
I'm tired, man.
Tired?
It's been a long week.
Yeah, I hear that. This is a bummer start to an episode.
I know. Why did you ask me that terrible question?
What's new? You have anything new, Steve?
The heck?
Do we need to start fresh?
No, we're good. All right. Do I have anything new? Yeah, man. I got my 1981 Inventions Drive run number 2 in.
The bag that thing comes in is really cool. The way it opens in the middle like that.
A little canvas bag. This is made by the same. I think that this may have been made by Chris Benson of Benson Amps.
Oh.
I know it's at least made by the company that makes the covers for Benson Amps.
Okay.
And I think Chris is associated with them somehow.
It seems like everyone has a little bit of something to do with this 1981 brand.
But the 1981 run number 2 is the chrome finish, which is just...
It's pretty striking in
I'm
person.
a little worried about it because we use like these ultra cold blue lights at church.
Oh, it's gonna.
I'm worried about it
reflect
like blinding me, and I'm gonna die.
Let me see this thing.
Lasers.
The really nice case. You see them online, and you don't see the cut of the case, but it's that folded metal.
Yeah.
That's riveted on the sides or screwed in on the sides. Like it's a custom case for this thing. And just something about how clean and smooth the folds are on the edges is very satisfying to touch and to look at.
Yeah, and I will say, like, you know, these pedals, they get a lot of flack for, oh, it's just a rat, and it does have a rat characteristic to it, but it's very different from a rat at the same time.
Yeah,
like at its core, like I guess I would say
it's like this whole concept. I think there's a whole like concept of rat-ish pedals where like. Imagine if the rat was better.
Right.
I think that's what that is. Like taking the good qualities of a rat and making them better without some of the weirder qualities of the rat.
Right. I think that, yeah. It's got like a very similar compression and drive structure to the rat, but because the EQ is built differently.
Yeah.
It really changes.
It's a high cut instead of a filter.
Yeah.
Sort of sound.
Yeah. What's new with you, Ryan?
That sounded good. 2 new things that are new with me. First one I wanted to mention was that I got to play with your worship leader this past Sunday.
Which one?
Sam.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, our good friend Sam Hart jumped over to my church and led worship. It was a lot of fun playing with him. I hadn't played with him since that
explains
the
why
glory days.
Why we didn't have. I thought he was. Was he scheduled for electric guitar at my church last week?
Oh, I don't know.
I don't remember.
So anyways,
maybe he was never scheduled.
My normal worship leader was out of town, and he's actually cousin-in-laws. Sam is his cousin-in-law.
So
Kristen
is his cousin?
What's that?
Kristen is his cousin?
Yes.
Okay.
And so family connection there, and he just had his cousin come in and take over for him. It was a lot of fun. It was really weird because I've been listening to Sam's music for so long.
Right.
It's weird to have him in my in-ears and be like, oh, I'm playing with this guy right now. My other new thing is that Grant Wilson of Big Ear NYC sent me a box in the mail. He sent us both boxes in the mail.
Yeah.
But the thing that he sent to you is, I guess, for both of us. I guess it could be for you. You could take it all home if you want to. But he sent a big care package of beers that we need to get into. They're cooling off right now.
Yeah, we probably won't get into them this week or next week. But maybe the week after that, they'll be cold enough.
They should definitely be cold enough in 2 weeks. So he sent me
Let me see that strap.
This
that strap looks
care
real
package.
serious.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't my style. I'm going to send you this strap.
It's real thick.
He just had a bunch of like random pickups laying around. He's like, I'm going to send these to Ryan. And look at this bubble wrap. This really cool.
Oh, I saw that. I thought it was great.
Wrap.
I would put that on a pizza and eat it.
Shut up. Don't you dare make this a political podcast, Steve. Pineapple on a pizza.
Is that a political?
Around here it is. So there's these really interesting strap pickups here with a metal base on them.
Oh, I've seen those are those are import. They're like
Yeah,
old,
I think
old Japanese pickups.
I think he said they were old MIKs.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Things get really interesting in here. There's a gold foil.
You gotta make sure the camera sees these things.
Got this little gold foil here. Look at that. That's pretty. I need to test that and see what it outputs.
0. How are you even supposed to mount this?
It mounts direct to the front of the guitar.
Interesting.
It does have screws for it to screw into something though, like little metalworking screws. So it's probably supposed to go through a pick guard of some sort. But I don't. Maybe like mounting this direct into the neck of the Explorer would be fun. Get weird with it.
You've never had anything mounted on the neck of that guitar.
Nope. What else do I have in here? I've got a humbucker-sized P90 that's black. Is that a stacked P90? Like a hum canceller?
It might be. What is this? Vintage Vibe. It just says Vintage Vibe Guitars on the back. I believe that is and I'm not super familiar with the humbucker design.
Well, look at the cable. It's a humbucker.
Oh.
Oh, wait, maybe not.
Well, it's shield in red and black. Yeah, I think that's not necessarily stacked. I don't know. I can't say for sure.
To me, this looks like a stacked design. Or maybe that's just the magnet underneath it. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure this thing out. Cool, like black P90-ish thing here. You're going to like this. Check out this cool old toaster design.
Oh, I saw that. I saw that one when I opened it up earlier. I was trying to figure out what the heck that's from.
It's something weird, that's for sure. I gotta put these in something because there are some unique pickups in here.
Yeah.
You get down into it deeper. I've got some Fender wide ranges here.
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
I've got a Texas Special Strat pickup. And I've got 2 Gretsch humbuckers.
Nice.
Yeah, there's some cool stuff in here. I can't wait to get these into things. Oh, and there's this other box here, which is from some brand called Goldfinch.
I've heard of Goldfinch, but I forget who they're working with.
$13.5K on that one. $15K on
wow.
that one. It says, our signature Goldfinch humbucker neck and bridge pickup comes equipped with ferrite magnet as opposed to standard Alnico or ceramic magnet.
Oh, that's interesting.
This is the same kind of magnet used in so many classic gold foil pickups found in 1960s Japanese guitars.
It's also the pickup used in the PV Super Ferrite pickup.
Well, there you go. So I've got a lot of pickups here, which means I'm going to get pushed into doing something I've been planning to do for a long time. I'm going to make a pickup testing guitar. And I think I'm going to do it with the Epiphone SL because it's just set up to be a slide guitar right now, and it's already kind of like scrappy, so it'll be a good thing to route wood out of and make little trays to slide in and out. And I want to have a series of videos where I test out various pickups and show how they're different or the same. I've always wanted to be able to quickly compare pickups in the same guitar. You know?
Yeah, yeah. Do you have any idea what kind of build out you're going to do for that?
I found a photo online that's similar to what I want to do. Maybe I'll throw it here in the video so people can see it. But I'm talking through some options with our buddy Cassidy, and I'm talking about getting that guitar up and running to be something other than a slide guitar with our buddy Sean Hutchinson, who works down at Pitbull Audio. Yeah, a local guitar store that does a lot of online sales too.
Yeah.
So that's my new. Got a pile of pickups, and I played with your pastor. Do we have anything else to cover before we get into an ad?
I don't believe we do. This first ad was sent by JP McKenzie. It's a Fender Duesenberg Telecaster.
I just opened this can one-handed in such a badass way.
Ooh, wow.
I held it like that and just one finger.
You're so cool.
I could do 2 of them.
Ooh.
Now that I learned that trick.
A gorgeous black modified Fender Duesenberg Telecaster consisting of a Fender MIM body with an American replacement neck. The guitar is in very good to excellent condition with very slight buckle rash on the contour shown in photo. Includes padded gig bag.
So the
guitar features Seymour Duncan pearly gates in the bridge, TV Jones Powertron pickup in the neck, Duesenberg tremolo, maple C-shaped neck, Goto locking tuners, volume treble lead. $785 local cash sale and pickup. Add 3% for PayPal.
What do you think of this guitar, Steve?
I think it looks really good. You pointed out earlier that this was indeed a Fender Telecaster at one point, so it's got holes in the top of the body where the bridge used to be.
Yeah.
That also means...
I mean, you can get Telecasters from Fender that have a Tune-O-Matic style bridge on it, but this is obviously it's obviously had a standard Telecaster bridge on it before this.
Yeah.
So it is a bit of a parts mutt here with extra holes in various places.
One of the things that I'm troubled by, and I don't think this necessarily means it's not an American neck, but this is not a Fender American neck, at least. This is a rebadge.
Mm-hmm.
It just says American replacement neck. I guess they slapped a graphic onto.
I mean, it could come from All Parts, right? Don't they license?
Yeah, All Parts. Or I think Mighty Might is officially licensed as well.
Something about it does look like a non-Fender.
No, it's definitely a non-Fender.
Yeah.
And to that end, okay, if it's from a pure parts perspective,
we got a PPP here. Pure parts perspective. Let's get into it, Steve. What's the PPP on this guitar here?
Fender Mexican body. What is that worth? Like $100 maybe, if it's unloaded.
Yeah, unloaded. Yeah, probably like 120.
This neck without any like solid like branding on it. I don't know if I'd be comfortable saying it's worth more than $125. Then you got to slap these pickups on it, which I mean, at the most, like the pickups are like $100 a piece. So we're looking at like $400.
We got pearly gates and a Powertron.
Yeah, I don't know if those are worth that much. The pearly gates is the ZZ Top signature pickup, right?
I don't know.
I want to say it is.
I don't know everything.
Well, why don't you, Ryan?
I've been working on it. I've been trying to learn everything.
More things.
I think the big ticket item here is the Duesy trim.
And I think it looks cool, but is it really, like, I don't know enough about Duesy trims to say that it's better than a Bigsby. It's just got a different bar on it.
What is the bridge on here? Does he call out the bridge hardware?
Maybe that's part of like the whole Duesy setup.
Yeah. Have you ever played a guitar with a Duesy bridge on it? Or the tremolo?
Not this kind.
The smaller
is this the
tremolo?
kind that's on all of them? I'm not sure.
They have a couple varieties.
I've only played Duesenberg at NAMM, and I honestly don't remember.
I played someone's guitar that had a Duesy trim put on it, and it wasn't a Duesy. Mm-hmm. It felt really nice. I've been thinking about it ever since, and like maybe I need to get one of these trims and throw it onto something. It's really smooth, but then like has a wider range of pitch vibrato than a Bigsby would. It was very nice. I was impressed. So that was the reason I wanted to talk about this, just so I could mention that I like Duesy trims now.
But do you think so? That I guess that's the thing is like, okay, a tremolo Duesenberg less. Oh, that's a less trim style. Mm-hmm. I don't know.
How much is the less trim style?
Is $87.
That's not terrible.
That's just a tailpiece swap.
Yeah.
That's not the full.
I need to get one of those and put it on something.
I'm trying to find just like their current. There's a tremola. Oh, that's the tremolas.
Those sound like words I've used before.
No, it's actually the tremola. Tremola is like the floating, the trapeze style.
Right.
So their Diamond Deluxe is €150, which I believe this would be at least similar to that.
Sure. Let's just assume that this model is like 175 US.
Sure, that's probably fair. Maybe a little more.
Because it's more of like a full Bigsby B5 sort of concept.
Right. And so, I mean,
they're asking a lot of money for this. For a parts guitar that's got like visible holes in places.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
I think that's maybe the problem is like I can see how you get to $785 if your expectation is you're getting like new value back for everything.
Right.
But
even then, that's pretty tight.
Yeah,
because we said 175 for the trim. Let's assume that bridge, it looks pretty nice. It's like $50.
Yeah.
So we're at 225. Body is 100, 325. Neck is 100, 425. Pickups are 100 each. 625. I mean, controls and tuners and stuff like that. Yeah, he rounded that stuff up, and he's trying to cover his costs of building this thing.
Yeah, WD Music sells a conversion for Telecaster that comes with, if it's not it's at least it comes with a bridge. So it comes with everything, including a new bridge plate. So this would be to retain a Telecaster style bridge, or Telecaster style bridge pickup, and it's $188 new, and it comes with more stuff.
Right.
So that kind of makes me think that this person is including, in fact, you can get this trem on Reverb for $144 brand new.
Oh, wow. I wasn't far off. I said like 150.
I don't know if that includes shipping or not. But again, the point here being like, I think in that $785, this guy's factoring in a lot of labor. And unless you can slap a name brand on something somewhere along the line, that it means that the labor was done by somebody of repute, then your labor's not worth anything. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, basically what it comes down to is the criticism that I always have of parts guitars is like, you're going to have to search for a long time for someone who wants this exact combination of parts that you put into this. Like, you may think it's really cool, but like the market for it is pretty limited, especially considering everyone can tell that this didn't come from the manufacturer this way. Like, you fudged everything together, and that decreases the value for people as well.
Well, you're also taking a Telecaster and you're turning it into like a double humbucker guitar.
Yeah. It's become a very specific thing. It's gonna be tough. It's gonna be a tough sell at that price. What price do you think would be fair for this thing? I'm not talking like tempting you to buy it. I'm saying where you would look at it and be like, yeah, that's a fair price. That'll move.
I don't know, $550.
My gut was saying $500. Like, you throw that up on Craigslist for $500, someone's gonna be like, yeah, okay, I want that. You know?
Yeah. I mean, especially when you're just saying, again, American replacement neck with no other information. Mm-hmm. I think maybe, if it was a USACG neck or Music Craft neck, something like that, like a brand that...
The fact that he doesn't say where the neck comes from,
like a Warmoth,
is a red flag.
This is a Warmoth licensed replacement neck or whatever. I think that adds value.
I bet you this guy had a nicer neck on this guitar, and when he decided to sell it, he put on a junkier neck. Because this, to me, looks like a guitar someone put together for their own personal project.
Right.
And it just never felt right to them because it's a parts guitar, and they tend to be that way. And he's like, I got to sell this thing. I'm not using it. I want to keep that neck, though, because it's a nice neck. So he threw like an all-parts neck on there. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. You want to jump into the topic?
Yeah, man. I feel like you're really driving this one today.
Sorry, man.
No, it's.
You want to take over? You want to run the show, Steve? You want to be?
Do you have that topic?
You want to be a big man, Steve, and take over the show?
What does that even mean?
I don't know. We both run this show. I don't run the show.
I'm never running this show again.
Steve keeps track of all the paperwork and all the fine details.
Yeah.
I couldn't do this show without you, and you probably couldn't do it without me. You could probably do it without me. You've done it without me.
There just wouldn't be any demos.
Well, yeah, we'd still be a podcast.
We'd have no corporate sponsorship in any way, shape, or form.
Did you screen grab this topic?
Okay, here we go. If you are 11 years old and make $600 busking all summer, what do you spend it on as your first ever electric guitar? This is from Chris Reynolds.
So this is referencing a video that was on Facebook this past week.
Wasn't that guy 14?
I don't know his age. I would say 11 is fair, but he looked like he could be a little older too. I'm not gonna age shame.
If you're young,
I think if we could fairly say somewhere between 11 and 14.
if you were young, would you need a guitar that would let you play? Oh wow, I butchered that.
Yeah, I'd have no idea what you're going for.
That Killers song.
Oh, okay.
When we were young.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway.
So
$600. So I got this question right.
Uh-huh.
Because we kind of did this.
We've done things like this before.
When Adam bought his drum set, did he buy it like actually from Busking?
Oh, you're talking about how we've actually done this with busking money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we used to busk quite a bit. Steve, you went out with us a couple times.
2 or 3 times.
So Adam and I
definitely accounted for like I think the total of all the nights I went probably was like a solid like 300 bucks.
I was busking before I was hanging out with you guys. Yeah. So I've probably been out busking close to 100 times.
Oh, wow.
A lot. And then I probably went out with Adam a good like 20, 30 times.
Oh, wow.
And we raised all the money that we needed to buy him a drum kit so we could have a band, basically.
Yeah.
And then I think we pocketed the rest of the money.
I think we used it all to do like your favorite band shirts and stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
That's how we bought our first run of shirts.
It basically kickstarted our band in being that if you could compare Kickstarter to doing actual work, we kickstarted our band with busking.
Well, it was a thing. It's a thing where we looked around at a lot of other bands who, like, when they wanted to get shirts or they wanted to print CDs or whatever, any kind of merchandise, they were like, one, because they were all younger than us. They were all going to their parents.
Right.
Oh, hey, Mom, can I borrow $1,000 to make, 200 T-shirts for my band? And we were like, oh, yeah, we got all this busking money.
Yeah, let's start something.
Let's make some T-shirts.
Yeah.
Also, you were like hand printing all of those.
I was hand printing shirts then. But yeah, busking was wild, and I watched this video and it just warmed my heart.
You watched the video?
No, there's this video going around of this kid going into oh my gosh, here we go. We'll talk about that later. My wife just brought something in. There's this video going around of this kid in Guitar Center pulling out all his busking earnings, which is all singles, like single dollar bills. At one point, he's like, "Yeah, there's one $5 bill in there."
That cracked me up.
And he's in a Guitar Center plopping down bricks of singles on the counter, and he's gonna buy a Fender
Mustang.
Or
not Mustang, Duosonic.
The Duosonic.
I think it's the Duosonic.
Buying an orange Duosonic, great choice.
I don't think
by
they
the way,
did
kid.
the Mustang in orange. Maybe they did. I don't know.
I can't remember. It's one of those newer offset guitars. And I just
orange.
It just melted my heart, and I felt so happy for the kid, and I felt proud of him, even though I don't know who he is.
I felt bad for the clerk, but I didn't feel that bad.
Hey, that's probably the first sale they're gonna have in Guitar Center there today. He was ready to work,
Yeah.
But it was just a great video, and it brought back all those memories. Like, he's just had these perfect bricks of single dollar bills that this guy has to count through. We used to keep a roll of dollars like that thick around in a Slurpee cup that was like cracking, and we wrapped duct tape around it. It's, busking is a ton of fun, and it's very rewarding in a lot of ways, but it also like wrecks your entire body.
And also, if you do it in the wrong part of town, you'll get rolled by the cops.
I think we ruined busking in the area where we had done
I don't think we did.
No, Adam and I were hanging out in this patch of grass. Like, it was fresh sod that had been put down in front of a shop.
Like a sunglass hut.
Down in this coastal community here. And we were going crazy, jumping around, being wild, putting on a show the way we tend to do. And I think I killed all the sod in front of the shop.
Oh, yeah, no.
Like, jumping around on it. So the next time I went back down there, I was carrying stuff, and a cop was down in that area. And he's like, "No busking unless you have a permit." And I was like, "Okay, I'll just keep on going." But they had the grass area, like, police lined off.
Yeah.
And like, "Don't enter this area." So I think the retailer was pissed that we killed their grass and complained about it.
How dare you?
I know, right? How did they know it was buskers? They probably had a camera set up somewhere.
They probably were like, "Hey, what happened here last night?" Because I think, like, a week or two before that happened was the night where, don't know why, but we were still there when the bar right there closed.
Right.
And all these people just went out, but they didn't disperse. So we were playing to like, I won't say we were playing to the crowd, but we were playing and there was a crowd of like 50 people.
Yeah, because they all just hung out on the
just
curb
like standing there
at
and
closing time.
And like the very like first, the closest 10 people were like, oh, there's people playing music here. And the other like 40 people were just like,
just drunk.
I'm drunk. Where's a taxi?
So here's the question, Steve.
Yeah.
You busk all by yourself. You raise $600 as 11 to 13-year-old Steve.
Mm-hmm.
In 2018, what rig do you buy from Guitar Center?
Oh man, probably.
I mean, you can do here's what I think will make it interesting. Do the rig you think you should buy, and do the rig 11-year-old you would buy.
Oh,
like do the good rig, the informed rig, and do the kids make mistakes rig.
So the informed rig, I think, would be like whatever the cheapest. Like Boss Katana. Is there one below the 50?
Well, there's the Air, but that's actually more expensive. And then there's the Mini, which is kind of like actually a decent amp for a busker.
So probably like the 50. I'd probably get the 50.
Mm-hmm.
And what is that, like $200?
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to busk with it, though, the Mini might be the way to go.
Right.
Which I think is like 100 something.
You think that kid was buying upgrading to a busking electric rig?
That's the question. Is he upgrading his busking rig, or is he looking to build a band ready rig?
Right. So I guess I'm thinking more of a band ready rig, Boss Katana.
Then you have $400 left.
I mean, part of me
There's
was
a lot
like,
of stuff you can buy for
blow
$400.
the whole $400 on like a Squier Classic Vibe.
That's a great rig. And then you throw a cable in there and you're all set.
Yeah, you're pretty much done. Because I think the Classic Vibe's like $350 or $370, something like that.
Yeah. What's your uninformed rig?
My uninformed rig is probably the Boss Katana 100. Like just
you want to get the more powerful amp that you can afford.
And because of that, probably something pointy.
Jackson Dinky.
Oh, maybe a BC Rich Warlock.
Yeah. And just because you're not completely clear on what the Katana can do, you throw like a metal zone in there.
Yeah. Or a Digitech Grunge.
Yeah,
you probably have one of those in the used rack.
I could see, though, I imagine younger Steve, like tween Steve, leaning into more of a country rig, though. Just because you'd be more familiar with it. Yeah, you might be like, oh, I know what a Telecaster is, and you get some random Telecaster.
Right.
And then you get tricked into buying the Eric Clapton Crossroads pedal or something that.
I mean, really, I guess at that age, starting out, I'd probably buy probably get an Orange Crush. And I wasn't thinking Telecaster. Probably some kind of Epiphone, LP 100 or Les Paul Studio.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I could see you doing that. I think my informed rig, again, would be Katana 50. Unless I was going to use it for busking, I'd probably get the Katana Mini. Because I think that would actually be fairly solid. I mean, the Air would be better for busking,
right?
But it's more expensive. And then the guitar, I'd probably get another Squier Jazzmaster. I'd hope, anyways. And I probably wouldn't get any pedals at all for $600 if I was doing that. I'd probably invest in a cable and a strap and a tuner or something like that. That's just something to think about. Is the Katana doesn't have a built-in tuner. I guess I have the phone now, though.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a phone now, and you have a tuner on the phone.
Oh, that should have been my what's new.
You got a tuner? Or you got a phone?
Penelope's got a violin.
Oh, really?
They do violin lessons. Well, they do music lessons in school.
That's fun.
So I have a half-size violin. I was trying to mess around with it, and Melissa's like, "You're gonna break it. Put it away."
And then
she's not wrong. Oh,
and then I
was supposed to go to Music Central before I came over here.
I think my uninformed rig, I think I would probably end up getting one of the Fender Mustang amps.
Oh,
because my ear wouldn't be developed and I wouldn't hear that it's total garbage in store.
I was kind of thinking about that, like, would I really get a Katana or whatever? Like realistically, I'd probably get like some kind of Line 6 Spider.
Oh, yeah. But I would look at, as a young person, I would probably look at the Fender Mustang amp line and be like, oh, this looks like it has more options. I can dial it in easily from the interface. It looks, more sleek in a lot of ways. This is probably the correct thing to get. And, it's got brand recognition with Fender. And then for the guitar, I can say that as a young person, my first uninformed guitar purchase was to buy something with a Floyd Rose. So I'd probably do that again. Whatever Floyd Rose I could get with the money left over, that's probably what I would do.
There we go.
Yeah. In the video, they don't show if this kid is getting an amp or what amp he did get, but I imagine he got something practice amp style to go with that.
Aren't those guitars like 400 new?
Yeah, they're right around 400.
Oh, that would make sense. All right, let's take a second to thank our sponsors.
Oh, yeah, of course.
This week, we're sponsored by Gunn Street Wiring Shop. Sean
what time it is? He nailed 32
super great
minutes.
Guy.
Exactly.
And he wants to hear from you. If you have an instrument that you need wiring for, but you're not quite sure what you want from it, shoot them an email over at Gunn Street Wiring Shop. Go to their website to find the contact form, and you will get a response. And they'll say, hey, what do you think about this idea?
Yeah,
and then you'll be like, I don't know. That sounds cool, I guess.
They're going to help you come up with all sorts of crazy stuff you never thought of. Now that I got this big box of pickups over here, I'm going to be tweaking something around here. I got to figure out what kind of wiring harness I need on whatever those are going into. Are you waiting for me to do something?
Nope. All right. This show is also sponsored by Sinusoid Pro Audio Couture. This week we're talking about Tech Flex Tuesday. This episode drops on a Monday. So on Tuesday, you head on over to sinusoid.com and look for their Tech Flex special. Basically, it's a bunch of pre-made cables or pre-selected Tech Flex and cable color combinations that they sell a little cheaper than if you wanted to order that from the custom shop by itself.
Also, Tech Flex is so cool and it's so pretty, and I just love the way it slides against itself.
Yeah, I'm
never gonna get a stage cable again that doesn't have Tech Flex on it.
They've been doing a lot of sports themed ones. This is the right time of year. We're coming up on the end of baseball season and the start of football season, so we're seeing they're like, Albie's favorite team is the Dolphins. Here's
is it?
Here's orange on aqua.
I never noticed that Albie's favorite team is the Dolphins.
No, never? You've never noticed that?
I'm joking. He flies that flag very high.
Yeah, very high.
And very often. Sinusoid cables. They make cables.
And smiles. All right, this ad was sent in by Tim Worley. See, I always wonder if he's related to Clifton Worley. I have a feeling he's not.
I feel like that assumption is very offensive, Steve. Just because someone has the same last name doesn't mean they're related. Like, are you related to Mike Rowe?
His last name's Rowe.
Are you related to Mike Rowe?
No.
It's spelled the same, Steve?
My last name is Rowe. I don't know, but like I met this guy he's this painter guy, Daniel Burke. Are you related to him?
I am. That's my brother.
Oh, dang. See? Guy's name's Burke. He's related to this guy named Burke.
Okay, that's a bad example because everyone with the last name Burke I am related to.
Every single one.
Every single one. And we all hang out at family get-togethers.
All right, so Tim wants to know, how bad is this?
I'm always hanging out with Delta Burke. I think she's dead now.
Ooh, is she? Too soon. This is a Fender Stratocaster. They're asking $160. It says, works very good. Only issues is it has a small scratch and a crack. And Tim asks, how bad is this? Just a finish crack or structural? If nothing else, an MIM neck is probably worth more than the $160 they're asking. Wrong. Not to mention the electronics. Maybe. But a lot of guys have said, like, this type of
stress crack
isn't uncommon. I don't think I've ever seen one this long.
I was going to say that. I've never seen... It's the type of stress crack that you get around the heel of bolt-on style guitars, just because there is a lot of stress and vibration going on along that heel. And usually they only go out about an inch or so. This one goes all the way up, around, and under the top horn.
Yeah.
Something major must have happened.
Very unusual.
To stress it so much. So if I saw that on a guitar, I would be handling it to make sure that the neck was still straight and without major issue before I bought this guitar. But no one in the audience ever sees that area of the guitar. And if it does play fine and there's no issues, I don't think it's anything to worry about.
Yeah. Yeah.
It just means that at some point there was enough side-to-side stress or back and forth stress on the neck, like someone was doing like a ridiculous neck bend where they actually bend to the neck to bend a string.
Well, it could also just be the result of like long-term expansion and shrinking, and the neck screws being like tight to the extent that it's kind of like putting pressure on the finish. Yeah. If I saw this, I wouldn't be worried about it, especially not at $160. I would buy it and then I would relist it for $350, disclosing the same amount of damage, and I'd take the first offer above $280.
That is Steve's flip a Mexican Stratocaster plan right there.
That's basically
if you're looking for a flipping recipe, that's it.
That's basically how I flipped multiple Mexican Stratocasters.
Steve, do you think that it's immoral to flip? I was listening to a podcast that said it was immoral.
I think if you're hoodwinking people, it's immoral.
Of course.
But if you got a smoking deal, you're under no obligation to pass that along to the next person.
That's true.
So
there, it's settled. It's moral to flip.
I would also say,
I think it's immoral to pass up a good flip.
I would say that, given the number of
opportunity never knocks twice is what I'm saying.
Is that one of the rules of acquisition?
This sounds like a rule of acquisition.
Oh, man. I just ruined my iPad case.
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
You just got an iPad like 2 weeks ago. You're already ruining it?
There's a loose thread, and those things drive me crazy. Anyway, who would say such a horrible thing?
Someone awful on some podcast that doesn't matter.
Okay.
Guitar nerds.
Didn't
we agree earlier that we weren't going to talk about other podcasts anymore?
It was your idea.
I know. I'm a bad boy.
You're the bad boy of guitar podcasts. So I would say I've actually seen this come up a couple times I would maybe 160. Though Tim does mention that he thinks the neck. I don't think the neck by itself is worth $160.
120.
I'd say 120.
With tuners.
If you sold like all of the parts individually, and you just sold the body as is, you could get 160 out of this. I think you just sell it all intact. Like I said, 350. Get what you can get.
With the prices of Mexican fenders going up for new ones.
Yeah.
Do you think that's going to affect the used?
Oh, it already
older
has.
stock.
It definitely is.
Because we've always just kind of traveled with the idea that a Mexican neck is worth around $120.
Oh, you mean saying part stock?
Yeah.
I think the value of part stock has gone up a little.
Do you think the value of older Mexican fenders will stay the same, but like the newer ones will go up for parts? Because they're using different parts.
Because well, it's not even necessarily different parts. They're just with the graphics being different, I could see.
Yeah, but they're using different like pickups and stuff now.
Oh, for the electronics, yeah, I think that will, because I think the old ceramic stuff is garbage.
Oh yeah, it's total garbage.
That's just me. I would say for this, I don't know if Tim was able to buy this.
I'd say for 160, if you're gonna play it, that's a no-brainer.
Yeah, this reminds me of another ad we saw on the Facebook group this week that was for a Tisco style guitar for like $30, and somebody posted and said, "Is this worth anything?" And myself and one other person in the group both responded as quickly as we saw it with, "Who cares? It's $30. Just go buy it.
It's art. It's a wall hanger."
And the response was like, "Yeah, it's already gone." And I was like, I didn't post it, but I was kind of like, "Yeah, duh."
I mean, if any of the pickups are decent in it, you can flip them to make money off that guitar, off an old Tisco. But a worst case scenario, a $30 guitar, especially an old Tisco that looks cool, is gonna look cool on your wall and be a decoration that you don't have to worry about, making it actually work. Next topic.
Yeah, this topic wasn't sent in by anybody.
We home cooked this
for
one.
For once in a great while, we come up with a topic.
It was kind of inspired by something going on.
That's true.
In that Keeley and Sue Pro are collaborating to put out an amp that is basically a pedal platform amp. Mm-hmm. It looks very attractive, and it has a kind of interesting price point. I think it was like $800 or something like that for a 25 watt.
I actually didn't. I haven't read about it at all. This is this to me.
This is late breaking news.
This is
guys.
news.
Yeah, this as far as we know, it was announced today when we were recording this. So I don't know all the details. I know it's a 25 watt amp. I know that it's got a effects loop that's designed to take amps. I mean to take pedals really well, and the front end of the amp is designed to take pedals really well. I mean, Keeley's got his name attached to it. I'm sure it's a great pedal platform amp. I mean, the super amps, as far as I've heard, are great amps and fun amps.
Yeah.
But the thing that we wanted to talk about is what we've been seeing with a lot of the older Supro stuff. And older, we mean like last year's stuff?
Last year's. They're really... I haven't seen as much with the amps, but I see it a lot with the guitars.
All the time.
A bunch of their guitars that were, originally, like $700, $800, $900 are getting blown out of large retailers for like $400.
Sometimes cheaper. There's been a couple where I'm like, should I buy this? I don't want to lose money in this situation.
Yeah.
Because like they're so cheap. It's like if I wait a year or two, someone's going to want to buy this, right? For more.
And it's kind of interesting because I think I don't want to say we necessarily have like a pulse, but when I see that, I tend to think like, oh, it's just a store clearing out stock.
Right.
But I've definitely seen like...
But it's been across retailers.
Yeah. And
like
I've definitely seen
a
few people jump out and be like, wait, is this company going out of business?
Right.
Like what's going on? And I think there is, and kind of what we were talking about is like, what do these stock clearances mean? And do they damage brands? And it's not just Supro. Like Supro was what kind of brought this up. But I'm a fairly frequent follower of the... Musician's Friend Stupid Deal of the Day, and you see a lot of G&L guitars on there, and there are usually like the G&L Tribute Series, so the import line, and you see a lot of Pigtronics pedals on there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
I don't follow that. Not nearly as closely as you do. And
I've definitely, especially like when they'll do like a Stupid Deal of the Day, but it's like I forget what they call it, but basically they do like a stupid deal I don't know if it's every hour or they just do it until they run out and then they do a new deal.
Right.
Like something like that. So it's like they do like 24 stupid deals or whatever.
Sheesh.
But each one in sequence, right? And it seems like inevitably, like in fact, the last time they did one of those, somebody joked like, oh, it's going to be like 4 Nady microphones, 3 Pigtronics pedals, a Supro guitar, and 3 G&Ls, and like some Black Star stuff. And there definitely is, I don't know if it necessarily devalues the brand itself, but it does. I think to some people, at least, it seems it feels sketchy.
I mean, to me, someone who like when I'm shopping, I'm like trying to get the best deal I can and trying to feel like I got one over on the man. You know, if I've been looking at those guitars and I know that they've been blown out in the past, it's going to make me a lot less likely to buy at a regular price.
Right.
I'm like, I can't get this now. I got to wait till the deal happens.
Yeah. And the flip side of it is like when the prices are so low, even if it's good, like I was in Sam Ash.
It also makes you think like, oh, were these bad?
What is this?
Were these guitars bad?
Yeah.
Is that why they're getting rid of them?
I was actually in Sam Ash when they had some of these Supro guitars for like $400, and I picked one up. I almost walked out with one.
I remember being impressed by them at NAMM. I thought they were cool.
They play well. They look really cool.
Especially the Resoglass ones.
I didn't plug it in. Though it was the one I was messing around with was a Resoglass one.
That's the other thing.
They feel so foreign to me.
When else are you going to get your hands on a Resoglass guitar if it's $400?
Yeah.
I'm kind of bummed that I didn't pick one up.
They probably still have them. You just got to find the right store. Just look on guitarcenter.com.
I shouldn't buy another guitar though, Steve.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
But you should. You should just sell some of your other guitars first.
I should sell guitars. I really should.
Anyway, I don't know. Do you feel like when you see a a store, like when you see something blown out in a store, do you assume that it's because the manufacturer is dropping the price for some reason, or do you like?
To me, whenever
what does that mean to you?
Because it's like with the Supro stuff, you're seeing these deals across different retailers. So my assumption is that like whoever manages the Supro warehouse system, it's like we got to clear all these out so we can get the new stuff in from next year. Just mark it all down, move it. And that person who's in charge of that isn't aware that it could be hurting their brand.
Right.
Where like maybe it would be better for them to go rent another warehouse space just to store this stuff and sit on it for a while.
But I mean, the flip side of that is...
Because it's like the Supro resurgence is a fairly recent thing, like in like the last 4 years.
Right. But I mean, I have heard from people who've studied business that if a product sits on your shelf for more than 90 days, it's ticking away from like the value of that shelf space.
We've got to preserve the value of the shelf space. No, they could stick all this stuff in a storage unit somewhere, and it wouldn't be that huge of a deal. I think
it wouldn't, but the reality is you can't. You have to do something with it, like
harvest the parts off of them
and put them on just new ones.
Yeah, and part them out as like an independent retailer sort of situation. Like, oh, look, like send them all over to GFS. Like, oh, look at all these bodies we got in with the name sanded off.
Do you think GFS is? So
I mean, part of me is like I appreciate that. Like, oh man, if I wanted one of those guitars really bad right now, I could go get a good deal on one. The other part of me is like, is sad to see them devaluing their brand.
Did you ever see the?
Because I think it will hurt their brand in the long run.
Yeah, I don't disagree. Did you ever see like the real bulk wholesale pricing of T-shirts, like when you were working for?
Oh yeah.
So like, if I want like a I don't know, blue typical T-shirt that like you would buy like a print, like not printed, just a blank in like any color.
Yeah.
From that you would go into like a store and buy, but I was buying the wholesale. Like, what's the cost of a shirt?
Things get priced based on how many colors are used in the print.
No, I'm saying like not even printed, just blank.
Oh, just blank?
I'm saying how much is like a blank green Hanes beefy tee?
Well, when I was in the biz,
if you're buying like 50,000 units at a time.
When I was in the biz like a decade ago, like well under $1.
What, right. And
for a T-shirt.
And that's a shirt that like...
I'm talking like 30-40 cents.
And like probably a Hanes beefy, I would expect if I was to go buy that from like a reseller, a place that does like printing, or like a Dickies outlet sort of situation that also does a bunch of T-shirts.
Well, if you buy direct from a T-shirt supplier, you're still going to pay like $2.50
at least
for a shirt. Yeah,
like depending on,
and you have to have a retailer's license to get.
Okay, right. I'm thinking like if I just go to tshirtwholesale.com or whatever,
right.
Like I'm gonna pay if I want like only 10 of those shirts, I'm gonna pay like $6 a piece.
Sure,
probably.
I mean, when Old Navy like does a T-shirt clearance and the shirts are like $5, they're still making money.
Yeah. So where I'm going at with this is I don't think the money exists for Supro to say, you know what, like we're not selling this. We're going to recall all of our units from all of the stores. We're going to dismantle the guitars and then just...
I'm not saying a recall of existing units already in stores. I'm saying they're like clearing stock in their own warehouse.
I'm saying like I don't even think that the money is there for them to sell off their stuff to GFS, because GFS wants to buy those guitars that Supro is sitting on that stock going, well, we could drop the price to $400 and still sell it.
They'll still make more money.
GFS is sitting there going like, we'll buy those bodies at $5 a piece.
Right.
And so Supro, if they sell each part to GFS and GFS is just selling it as like professional grade parts, like their GFS doesn't want to pay more than $10 or $20 for an entire guitar.
We're pulling these numbers out of our butts, but I understand the concept. Yeah, they definitely can make more money by blowing these guitars out, but I think the damage to their brand is going to cost them more money in the long run. Because people are going to look at Super when the Super reissue stuff first hit NAMM like 4 years ago.
It was really exciting.
People were like, "Oh my gosh, this is fantastic! Of course, I'll pay over $1,000 for one of these amps. Of course, these guitars have got to be worth like $900, $1,200 or whatever." But now that you've blown them out multiple times across multiple models, for under $500, now people look at any Supro guitar as a $500 guitar.
And so I think that's something that can be fixed if they start managing like their production numbers better, because that's a issue of production numbers.
Maybe that was it. Maybe they made too many.
But I don't think it's necessarily like super bad, because I don't feel like too many people, I don't see people freaking out about it. I know people, like, when they've gone on stupid deal of the day or whatever, or like on clearance at Sam Ash, people will like flock to them to pick them up. So they're still like making their money, but definitely in the long run, they can't put out stuff and then clearance it out every year.
Like, imagine if Fender did that. Imagine if Fender was like, oh, 2017 American Fenders didn't sell well, so they're all $600 now.
Yeah.
Like, that'd be ridiculous. Yeah. Like, it would completely destroy like confidence in the brand.
So I guess I don't know. Like, does Fender have a better grasp on that? Like,
I think there's more of a guarantee that they're moving the guitars that they're making.
Right.
So they don't have to worry about their warehouse.
I guess I just think about it, because in my head I'm like, well, I can't imagine like going to the store again, like say Guitar Center, and be like, okay, I want that Supro, and it's a new price. I'm like, well, I still want it. Like say I didn't know they were getting closed out, and the guy brings it out, and it's a 2016. And be like, this guitar's 2 years old. Bring me out the stuff that just got made. I don't want something 2 years old. But then I guess I've never thought about it. Like, when I've looked at Fender guitars in Guitar Center, like when I'm there in person, like I can't ever think of a time where I like was like, hold on, it's 2018. Is this a 2018?
Right.
And
I wouldn't look at any Supro in a guitar store and be like, oh, this is the model from 3 years ago. I'm not going to buy this. I want the newer one. Because I think in terms of the actual model specifics, like the actual features of it, not in the year
right,
it was
but
made.
I think there's something to be said for that in terms of instrument value, where if it's something that's been sitting around in the box for a while versus getting something brand new, like you're gonna want.
Yeah. I mean, I would expect a discount on something that had been sitting on
That's what I mean.
on the wall.
Oh, on the wall, yeah.
For 3 years. You know, I would take it to the front and be like, yeah, you could get me a new one from the back and I'll pay full price, but I'll take this one off the wall right now for 20% off, you know, because this has been molested by these Guitar Center people. Like, it is gritty. Yeah, I just can't imagine any other big brand doing discounts that deeply on stuff that relatively isn't that old.
Yeah. But I guess that's, to me, like, that's the big question to extend to like the listener and to the viewer is what do you guys think when you see these discounts or things on the Musician's Friend, you know, stupid deal of the day, or you walk into your local big box, you know, Sam Ash, Guitar Center, or whatever, and or Sweetwater, I think, had them as well, though I guess they're only one big box.
Sure.
And you see these like deep discounts on models, like, yeah, they're clearing out the, you know, it's like cars. Oh, we're clearing out the 2017s to bring in the 2018s to clear out the 2008.
That is what it feels like. It feels like a car dealership. But cars are different.
Yeah, but do you guys, you know, listeners, do you guys think that devalues the brand? Because I agree with you. I feel like it kind of feels like, oh, I'll just wait. If I can wait till the end of the year, I can get a smoking deal.
Yeah. And that's what I said on the post about the Keeley amp, the collaboration with Supro, is like, oh, it looks really cool. I'm going to wait till I can get one for $300 next year.
Right.
You know?
Right. You ready to hit this last ad?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm not sure how to talk about this.
Just call it the effer.
This was sent in by Grant Wilson. It's a custom Telecaster, politically incorrect, $350. You know what? I'm just going to do this.
Don't make me bleep you, Steve.
No, don't bleep it. If you have small children in the car, just skip the ad. Just go right to the end.
Yeah, go find a different podcast.
This is a custom Tele build. The headstock is unique. Rosewood fretboard with a 7.25-inch vintage-style radius. blonde body with all StewMac hardware. Pickups are unknown brand, but I was told they were wired like 50s Tele pickups. Case not included. I thought it was. I originally thought it was included. They're asking $350. The headstock says "fucker Telecaster" on it.
Wait, am I looking at the wrong one?
You are.
I am. I'm looking at the wrong one. I was like, what happened here? Yeah, here I am. The Telecaster.
Yeah. I want to know. So it's.
I mean, the decal is done well enough.
Yeah.
Honestly, from a distance, no one would really catch that it says the thing that it says.
Does this church?
I mean, I bet I could church with this and no one would catch it. It's kind of under the radar.
I don't think I could pull it off. I think I get too many people walking up on stage.
I think maybe like the bass player would catch it and be like, but no one in the audience would catch it. They're too far away.
What do you think about what's going on with the bridge here?
Oh, the bridge is a hot mess.
It's a full Tele bridge, but then it's got... I don't understand what they're trying to do. It's got like a Bigsby on it, but then like the saddles are raised all the way up.
So they're like, they're the square cheap style saddles, and this thing doesn't look intonated at all. It looks like they started to think about intonating it because the high E is slightly different, but the rest of the saddles are lined up completely straight with each other. So yeah, this is square style, kind of like hardtail Strat saddles on this.
Right.
And you can tell, even in this crappy photo, that the little Allen screws are cranked down all the way to get these saddles as high as they could get them, so the strings would pass over the tail of the bridge, so that they could loop underneath the Bigsby. It also, I'm betting anything that the neck is shimmed like crazy to accommodate this.
Definitely looks like it is.
Yeah.
I think, just from the perspective of that, like, as soon as I see that neck in this picture, I'm out.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care.
I mean, you got to shim a neck
it's
to accommodate
be down to like
Bigsby no matter what.
It's got to be like $200 where I can just part everything out.
Where did he say the body came from? He didn't.
Doesn't. It just says blonde body with all StewMac hardware.
I like the color of the body. If I was going to
Which means if this is all StewMac hardware, the bridge is actually probably decent quality.
Yeah. I mean, you're going to want to figure something out with this body that will accommodate the Bigsby. Mm-hmm. You need a better bridge situation than that. But I would buy a blonde body if I could get the right price on it. That's a classy look. I love a blonde Telecaster.
I feel like if you have the right bridge on this, you don't need to... I mean, you'll still need to shim the neck, but not that extreme.
I mean, besides needing to eventually scrape off the decal on the headstock...
You would scrape it off? What would you replace it with?
Nothing.
What would you...
I'd leave it blank.
What politically incorrect...
Okay, that is what I said I wanted us to do with this.
Politically incorrect branding would you put on your guitar?
Well, my idea with this ad, now that you reminded me, is what kind of guitar would you make to have it be politically incorrect? Like, it wouldn't necessarily be a decal. I mean, you could do a decal. But what's we got to figure out what our brand of political incorrectness is.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like this was like what this one was. The Fender F-bomb connection has been around for a long time.
Sure.
Telecaster, I feel like, is like, oh, what word starts with T that would work here?
I think I'd do like the fart caster. I'm such a bad boy. I don't know. I'm trying to think of like something that I think is funny that is politically incorrect that I would do. And nothing is coming to me. I'm just too good of a boy.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm just too nice is the problem.
You're such a nice guy.
I'm such a nice guy.
We should have thought about this more before we jumped into it.
I know,
I thought I was going to be able
right?
to fly.
This is a total flop.
Like, would you get a Jackson, I don't know, and instead of it being a Jackson... Fender Jagstang, Fender Jaguar, Jazzmaster, whatever, somehow becomes the...
Fender Jagoff?
I like the Fender Jagoff. I was going like the Fender Jagoff.
Yeah.
Or the Jack...
Do it with like
the Jackmaster.
Do it with one of those offset Tele combinations. a jag off for that because Jaguar offset. I don't know.
We're just not very good at this.
No, this is a total flop. I had something in my head for a second, and then it completely disappeared.
All right.
Well, I had been saying that when that Steel Panther pedal was out, that they should have renamed the patch, the TC patch. They should have named it the Enthusiastic Consent.
Oh yeah.
I think I would probably figure out something in that direction. Are we boring? Are we dumb that we can't come up with an exciting, politically incorrect thing to say, Steve?
I'm sure there's lots of things.
I mean, you are usually the belle of the ball at a party with your jokes. But your uncomfortable jokes that make everyone cringe.
I need some people. I need that live feedback.
What we need to have in the room here is people that we can offend for us to come up with these things. You can't just just cold call out something offensive without someone to bounce it off of. Like, I need my mom to be in the room.
Oh my gosh.
So I can upset her somehow. Well, sorry guys.
This topic did not play out the way that I thought it would.
Let us know your own politically correct.
Incorrect.
And that's my problem. Maybe I got it confused. Let us know your own politically incorrect guitar modifications in the comments wherever you happen to be listening to this. Because apparently Steve and I are a bunch of squares.
All right,
want to tell us about the song?
Yeah, this song was sent all the way from Sweden. So from Sven Nystrom. He says, okay, guys, here's a track for you. My band...
Good luck.
Lodonger?
Let me see it. Oh, yeah. No idea, dude. Good luck. Lodanger? Lodanger?
He says, depending on your dialect, of course. It's a 3-piece outfit where I play 1976 Rickenbacker bass and sing in Swedish. Lars plays a double neck guitar that I built, and Milo plays drums. Milo is a very talented guitarist. We're on SoundCloud as Lodonger.
Lodonger.
What's bad is he gave hints on like he says the O with the umlauts is like the vowel in world, but I only hear the R sound.
Lordonger?
Lordonger, because he says and the A0.
We're gonna get to the bottom of this.
Like the vowel in 4, so that's where I got donger. Lodonger.
Lodunger.
They're probably the accent. The emphasis is all wrong. Anyway,
Lodunger. Let me know how close I got.
He says this recording was made on an iPad using some docking device and is a live recording with maybe some extra guitar on it. I split my bass signal in 2 and ran an Ampeg with an overdrive and a fuzz wall in front of it, and a Laney clip guitar amp through a Shinai fuzz. Shinai? Do you know? Shinai fuzz. Yeah. The track is called...
Or Shinai. I've heard it pronounced a few different ways.
The track is called Weigsen. I don't speak Swedish. Which means the hatchet.
There's a name for you.
Oh, here's an update. He says, I still want to buy a 50/50 when the new batch comes in, but limit my presence on Facebook, so you don't know me from there. Please announce the release on the show. So this isn't announcing the release.
It's coming soon, though.
But they are the
cases
are
boxes.
done, which is a big part of what we were waiting on.
Yeah, there was a big kink in the supply chain there. So we have the cases. Oh, Leon has the cases over at Pelican Noiseworks. He has the boards ready to go. He just needs to put them all together.
Yeah, the boards are populated, I believe. So the boards just need to go in the cases.
Yeah, a big reminder. Join the Inner Circle, our $10 Patreon level, and you're going to get first pick if you really want to get one.
Yeah.
People in the Inner Circle get first pick of them.
But let's do that this year. I'm not sure how we did the last run, but we'll announce in the Inner Circle when they are available. Mm-hmm. And then we just won't announce in the main group. We'll announce it here first.
Yeah, exactly. We'll say, go buy them. There's 4 left.
Have we ever done a song in a foreign language from a submission before?
I don't know. That's a good question. I'm excited to hear it.
Yep. All right, guys. This is a song title that I can't pronounce from a band that I can't pronounce and a guy named Sven Nystrom. So thanks, Sven.
The Hatchet. Later, guys.
Bye.
Och dina händer är sylta med blod. Ska du sluta när du rafsat nog? Försök vara nöjd med det du har. Nu är det slut, det finns ingenting kvar. När yxan faller är det de som haft den. Sämre än dig som håller i skaftet. När yxan faller, när yxan faller. Du håller tyst men jag vet du håller med. Du kommer sist om du går bredvid. Du kan inte skylla på den som försökt. Fortsätta fast det redan var rökt. När yxan faller är det de som haft det. Sämre än dig som håller i skaftet. När yxan faller, när yxan faller. Yxan faller är det de som haft det. Sämre än dig som håller i skaftet. När yxan faller är det de som haft det.